How y'all doing? gssixgun here from SRP and all the shave forums. We're going to do something a little different with Kamisori. And I promise I am not going to try and do this all in Japanese. These are a little bit different when you hone them. And I'm going to do it, I'm going to actually set a new cutting edge. And I hesitate to use the word bevel on these. But there is actually a bevel. If you actually look at it, there is on the non-stamp side, you will see an actual bevel on there. On the stamp side, it's almost straight, sort of like a chisel edge is what these things have on them. There's a lot of conjecture as to what's the front, what's the back. Most people consider the non-stamp side, what we would look at as on a Western razor, as being the actual front of the razor, because this is the edge that you shave with. In other words, you're shaving using the chiseled edge. The stamp side is usually considered to be the back side. On a Western razor, the stamp side would be the front side, and the non-stamp side would be the back side. When you're honing these, you can actually see the hone mark on it, and then the beveled edge, and the hone mark up top, and the non-beveled edge. You start with the stamp side up, so you're going to hone on the non-stamp side first. The variation on how to do that, there's a lot of that also. 7-to-1 seems to be the common one. By the way, this is select conical. You can use any stone around the 8K mark to do these. Norton, Shapton, Naniwa, Kings, anything around the 8K to get these started. If it just needs a gentle hone, you're going to use just a really super high grit. But this one I have not done myself yet, so I'm going to actually set it. I'm going to use a conical to do it this time. Again, you can use anything around the 8K level. Conical with the light slurry really does a good job on these. So would a Norton with the light slurry. Again, if you notice, you can't quite see it in there. The stamps are right here on the Iwasaki. Okay, you're going to do a slight heel forward, and you're going to bring the edge down the hone, and you're going to push it back up the hone. Down the hone, back up the hone. Down the hone, back up the hone. 4, 5, 6, 7. Once you get to 7, you're going to switch to the other side and do 1. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to apply pressure to the edge when you're doing this. When you flip this way, you want to apply pressure to the back. In other words, I'm going to shift my pressure to the back here. Okay? Again. 4, 5, 6, 7. Flip it. Always a little bit heel forward. 3. And try and keep it, don't get too hung up in the numbers. It's about 7, about 1. You can also do this in a variation stroke, by the way. You can do 10-to-1, then 5-to-1, or 10-to-1, 7-to-1, 5-to-1, 3-to-1 as you finish out. Some of these like a 5-to-1, some of them like a 10-to-1. The Iwasakis, I kind of think, go to about 7-to-1, and they do pretty good. 3, 4, 5, 6. Flip. And when I say pressure, it's still a pretty light pressure, but way more than what you would consider on a Western style razor. You'd almost be in a corrective stage with the Western style. Okay. And it doesn't really take long with these razors. That chisel edge really grabs fast. Again, you kind of check the edge the same way you would a Western razor. You want to make sure it's cutting hair all the way along. If you can do an arm hair test, that really works well. With the cuticle and slurry, it doesn't take too long. 8K, same thing. I usually use a little slurry on these when I'm doing them this way. You got to remember the Japanese stones are made for that. Again, anything around the 8K level you can do it. You don't need a cuticle, you don't need a Norton, you don't need a Shafton. Whichever one you have will work. Okay. Some people start at the 12K and just stay there. If you don't have a Japanese natural, that's not a bad idea to just start at the 12K. That way you're not cutting it too bad. These get sharp really, really, really fast. They don't mess around at all. You can also see that you're honing very even on there. There's a real nice even edge. And like I said, they get sharp very, very fast. One thing, an 8K level is not enough for these. And I know a lot of, I finish on a cuticle on certain razors too, or the Norton 8K. Or the 8K level is normally what's considered shave ready. In other words, you start getting into shaving sharp. But on the Japanese razors, they truly are scary sharp. They're very, very sharp. You shave with these using no pressure. You're barely touching your face when you're shaving with them. So a edge that would be okay with the Western style razor is not okay with the Japanese style razor. It's just not sharp enough on the Kamisori. You can argue that all you want. If you start pushing down on your face with the Kamisori, you're going to cut yourself, or it's not going to be a very comfortable shave.